Hello, Stuart's 89. Well, there's some chatter about, and just like that, there's two sort of stories at the moment. Now, the first thing that I heard, which I think came first, was in relation to Kim Cattrall's character and Samantha and how they were dealing with the character in the fictional world of the show. The rest is mostly just about people observing the filming and sort of speculating on gossip and so forth. And a lot of criticism of Sarah Jessica Parker not looking like she's 20, which is, not really fair. And she actually addressed that in Vogue. She did a cover shoot, or she had the cover at least. And she said, it almost feels as if people don't want us to be perfectly okay with where we are. There's so much misogynistic chatter in response to us that would never happen about a man. Commenting on Andy Cohen, she was photographed with him, and people criticised the grey streaks in her hair because she's a natural brunette. She's been bleaching hair for years. She's got some grey in there, whatever. But yeah, she's like, he's got a full head of grey hair and, he's exquisite. Why is it okay for him and not for me? These are perfectly valid arguments. And then she, of course, asked the question of what is she supposed to do? Just stop aging or disappear? I mean, it is unfair. It is misogynistic. It is... It's a double standard. We allow men to age and validate them because we live in a patriarchal society. So it's the old men who are making up all the rules. So of course they're going to favour them, and they like young women. So that's who gets the preferences and gets all the rewards and everything. And the older women, they get just sort of left out to dry, unless of course they're lucky enough to go into business with gay men or other women. Particularly in Hollywood. But fortunately, we do have people like that who like what's the name, Patrick King, whatever his name is, who was the sort of brains behind the Sex and the City TV series. And God, who's that other guy who's doing American Horror Story and Scream Queens and so forth? They're gay, and they're not afraid to have gay characters and female characters actually live past 40 in Hollywood. So it's a bit unfair. And I don't blame her for being upset because she looks fine. I mean, yeah, she's aged, but hello, she's aged. So of course she's aged. There's nothing wrong with that. And the whole show is about them aging and dealing with their sex lives and their romantic lives and their business lives and working and having a relationship and all this stuff. While it's all about that, and that's why we're enjoying watching the show and the movies, because we're growing along with these characters. Now they're a bit older than me. And I got into the show when I was already 10 or so years old. But I'm enjoying it. I was thinking, how am I going to relate to these women? Because I was already struggling to relate to them towards the end of the film when they're all married and I'm still single. But it's probably going to be more about their business relationships, and they're just dealing with being relevant, in the world at a certain age as a woman. And gay men, we actually expire a bit quicker than women on some levels. So I kind of relate to that. I certainly have been cancelled and have expired on the gay scene, so I'm done. But the other thing they talked about was Samantha, and I really want to talk about this the most, actually, but I couldn't find the article I was reading, so it might just be gossip, it might just be speculation. But what they were saying was, in this series, they apparently established or have stated or something that the reason why... God, I've forgotten their real names. Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker split up, or their friendship ended. Carrie and why can't I remember her name? They're not talking in the show, and the reason, we just assumed they just drifted apart, as people do. And I thought, well, that's a kind of realistic thing to portray. Maybe she had other business dealings opportunities in other parts of America or other parts of the world, and she just moved and drifted. But apparently, the story is that at some point, Carrie fired her as her publicist, and that they basically had a fallout over that, and she wants to reconnect as friends because she didn't want those two things to affect each other. She didn't want the working relationship to affect the friendship, but apparently it did, and that does happen sometimes, especially when egos are involved and money. So apparently Carrie is trying to get her back as a friend, and she's in that state of trying to get her back and apologising and so forth. And they acted like this is what the show was about. And I'm like, there's no way that's what the show's about. That may be how their storyline is playing out and how it's structured, that it's all about. They'll probably just talk about it. Well, what happened in this situation? This is where we're at. I'm trying to talk to her. She's not answering me. She's not talking to me. She doesn't want to know me because she's still upset about this, and I just want to fix it. if you remember how doggedly Carrie pursued Miranda after the incident in the first movie at New Year's Eve. You can understand she wouldn't just be like, I lost a lifelong friend, I'll be fine. It would be dealt with, even if it's one-sided and it's all just her pontificating about what this means to her and so forth. I do think it's going to get some attention, but it's certainly not going to be the centre of the show. But no one still knows what that is. Is it about Vig dying? Is it about a divorce? We still don't know yet. We've only got a few weeks, or I think it's coming out in December. But I just want to talk about those two things because I thought they were interesting. And I'm kind of proud of Sarah Jessica for speaking about misogyny, and it surely will be something that's actually addressed in the show, so I'm all for it. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and if you've heard any other rumours or something, feel free to share in the comments. Bye.